Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with another video, and against my better judgment, I was browsing on the Neiman Marcus website and I was like, oh, let me see if they have any fun, juicy luxury candles for sale after holiday, because a lot of times during or like after the holiday season, they tend to put some of the candles on sale, and they did have some, and so I bought some, and so that's today's haul today. But before that, I have a Nordstrom rack purchase as well. So I was also against my better judgment browsing in Nordstrom rack, and Leanne on Instagram was telling me about how the moss and mint candles were like 14 bucks online on Nordstrom rack for the 3-wick. Normally $70, 21.1 ounce moss and mint candles at Nest were like 14 bucks. And I was like, girl, what? But I was like, I don't need to pay like shipping and buy that online. So I went into the regular store, and sure enough, they had a few moss and mint, and they weren't marked as clearance as 14 bucks. But I was like, you know what? Let me stand in line and get them to price check it. So I went in and we price checked it, and moss and mint was lo and behold like $14.98 or something like that. I also checked with the it's like a vanilla and orchid almond thing or whatever that I also enjoy. I was hoping that would be clearance, but that was still 50 bucks. So I was like, I don't need that, but I will take the $50 moss and mint. I mean the $15 moss and mint. So that's what we have here. Crazy deal for a Nest 3-wick. Wow, I wish they were always 15 bucks. I'd be all over it. That's like the price of a BBW candle, but it's 21.2 ounces. Yeah, normally like 70 bucks. Moss and mint, I think, has been discontinued from their main site for quite some time. I bought it when it was current, like 5 or 6 years ago or whatever, and I loved it. It's one of my favorite Nest fragrances, but like I don't need to repurchase it at 70 bucks, but at 15, hell yeah. But this is pretty much or rather, BBW's Beach Sage and Mint is almost like a direct dupe of moss and mint from Nest, so I really don't have to feel compelled to buy this because I have plenty of Beach Sage and Mint from BBW, which is a 3-wick candle that throws like crazy. But sometimes it's fun to get the actual original one, and I guess pay respect to the original like perfumer or creator of the fragrance rather than getting the knockoff. So that's why I did buy this one. This one's Garden Mint, Apple Blossom, and Muguet are infused with a touch of oak moss and vetiver. It's great. It's like this fuzzy mint fragrance mixed with like a slightly clean like fruitiness and a like sort of green, like just something very like spring and green about it that I really enjoy. That's perfect for like the spring months or like the first half of the year. It's really great for that. It just has like this very like refreshing, uplifting, like sinus clearing, like garden mint plus extra fragrance that I really enjoy. And the other one I had was like from like 5 or 6 years ago or something like that, or maybe even like 7 years ago at this point. And it was strong always, but it had different wicks from this version. And so I saw this one, and this one is indeed the new version because mine still said Nest Fragrances on it, but this one says Nest New York on it, and that's a more recent name change. And I believe the pour date on this, if I'm reading that properly, says 22042, so is that 2022 and the 42nd date of that, which means this is a newer pour, which is weird that I guess they're still pouring these in the beginning of 2022, but then they still go straight to clearance for 15 bucks. I don't know. But any case, yeah, this one had different wicks from the other one. It has like the thick, like a smaller size of like the thick rope-like wick ones that we're familiar from BBW. And I was like, this might burn differently. And it does. I like that it actually kind of like has more of a controlled burn than my previous version. The other one did suck quite a bit. And these Nest candles do, especially the 3 wicks, well, even the single wicks do, they tend to suck quite a bit. But this one has the rope-like wicks that tend to have a more controlled burn, and you can see it starts kind of like making mushroom tops, which just makes the flame a little bit more controlled and a little less like sooty and aggressive. So I enjoyed that, and this also seemed like my old one was strong, but this one seems so much stronger, and it could just be that it's a newer pour, so that's why it's stronger. But this was crazy strong. I was just blown away from it. It's just I've been struggling with homeworks for so many months and years that it was just like, wow, like this is what a really strong grand throw feels like. It was amazing. It's just like completely filled the like this was truly house filling. I would put it in my living room and smell it into the back bedrooms and everything. I actually get a headache if I'm in the same room as it because it has that very like sinus clearing minty quality to it. But honestly, I can't complain. Like I love a grand throw that just like completely like slaps me in the face. So I love how strong this was. So that was great. So highly recommend it. For 15 bucks. Nest candles, I think there's some confusion online as to what type of wax it is, but if you've been following Nest for any amount of time, on their website it always used to like say, in quotes, cosmetic grade paraffin is what it said. And that makes sense because as somebody who has done candle making as a hobby before, this has that very like soft, almost like Vaseline jelly type of soft wax to it that is very characteristic of certain paraffin waxes out there. There is like hard, like molten paraffin that you're used to from like a Yankee candle jar that's very hard, but there's also like a Vaseline type of like jelly type consistency variety of paraffin wax, and I believe that's what this is. Like the wax and the consistency and the burn performance really has not changed from back when they used to specifically say cosmetic grade paraffin. I think they like say proprietary wax blend or just kind of hide that because of the stigma that comes with paraffin waxes, so they would rather just not highlight that, and I think that's a conscious choice from Nest to not highlight paraffin anymore because there's that whole like very huge soy lobby that is out there. So just wanted to put that out there, and oftentimes these softer wax paraffins do suck quite a bit, but the trade-off is amazing grand throw. So that's why oftentimes you'll get a great throw with Nest candles, but like often in the mid-range point they'll become sort of black and sooty and grody because it's paraffin. So that was the Moss and Mint right here. Excellent. So then that happened, and I was like, wow, I guess like this is what it feels like to get a grand throw from a candle. And there's been other Nest candles that I've been eyeing for quite some time, and so that's why I was on the Neiman Marcus website against my better judgment and purchased 3 more candles, but they were a rather good deal. So the first one we have, which I've been eyeing this forever, and I was eyeing them individually, but I guess on the Neiman Marcus website, this is like a holiday item, so it actually was clearanced, I think like 20% off or 30% off. I'm not really sure what it was. Plus I had a 15% off signing up for Nordstrom text and emails thing. So I was able to combine both the holiday clearance and a 15% off clearance. And I think I got this for $48, which means we're getting each of those like 8-ounce classic size candles for $24 when they're normally like 38 or 39. So I was like, that's not a bad deal. So I was like, let me do that. So it comes in a very pretty juicy box right here, and that's what that looks like. And it says Wild Mint and Eucalyptus is from their wellness collection, and it has Wild Mint, Eucalyptus, Basil, and Thai Ginger. And there's also a Driftwood and Chamomile, which is the Chamomile, Driftwood, Sandalwood, and Vanilla Bean. Particularly, the one I was really enticed about was the Driftwood and Chamomile, and that's what that looks like right there. I have smelled that candle so many times in the store, but I just didn't want to pay like full price for it. So I was like, well, $24, I will finally do it. So it comes in this like beautiful blue color right here, and that's what that looks like. And oh my god, this fragrance is incredible. I love it. It's very just unique and different, but it's like the sort of like the seaside vanilla fragrance of my dreams. I always have had this vision for like a vanilla waves or a vanilla shore or like a vanilla seaside fragrance, and this is kind of like what I imagine it to be. So there's that like driftwood in there, which I guess it gives like a salty woodsy component to it. And there's like a calming creamy chamomile mixed with the vanilla bean in there that gives it like the like very creamy cozy vanilla fragrance that makes it quite sweet as well. And I love the blend of the two. If you recall Salted Vanilla from BBW, it's not exactly the same, but kind of like that variety of fragrance where you get this like this creamy, nice, like soothing, comforting vanilla creaminess, but mixed with like an extra something from that driftwood and the chamomile. And wow, I really enjoy this. I just really hope this is like actually quite strong. I wouldn't mind this in a 3-wick, but I was like, I'll try the $24 clearance version first and then see how it goes. So that was that right there. And then this one's kind of like a typical fragrance profile, to be honest. Like we've had Eucalyptus and Mint from BBW for ages now. And what is this? Wild Mint and Eucalyptus. So not too out of the box, but it is still like quite a nice blend. Yeah, like wow. That mint is very like sharp and invigorating. Like you can really smell the fuzziness of it, but there is that sort of like the ginger zing is in there as well. And then I think the basil also gives it an extra like herbal salad kick to it. That's actually quite invigorating and refreshing. So while it is like similar to those usual minty herbal blend fragrances, it's still, I guess, unique or well done. So I appreciate that. So I think all 3 of these will just be perfect for like the springtime. So I was like, at a clearance price, I will try them and see how it goes. Comes with a juicy gift box that's kind of useless, but at least it's pretty, so there's that. And then lastly, this one is the new fragrance for the holiday that I guess is being discontinued, and it is the Crystallized Ginger and Vanilla Bean, and that's what that looks like right there. Also a very juicy box on that. Nest doesn't do gourmand fragrances too often, so when they do it, I do like picking them up. I had the Sugar Cookie in the 8 ounce a while back when that came out. That got canned after the first year, I believe. That was a great fragrance, and it was very strong for a single wick, but it sooted like just absolute madness. The most sootiest candle like ever. It was just like billows, like a straight line of soot all the way up to the ceiling, like consistently, like never ending. No matter how much I trim it or, you know, lop it off or put a Illumilid or, you know, try to get it out of draft or whatever it is, like that was just consistent soot. So I don't love that. But the fragrance is nice. So that was that. And then now they have Crystallized Ginger and Vanilla Bean. I believe these are normally like $70 some, and then it was on clearance for like 50 something, and then the extra 15% off brought it down to like, once again, like $48 or something. So I'm like, well, under 50 bucks, I will try this. And it had quite great reviews. So I was like, okay, let's see it. So this one says, heartwarming notes of crystallized ginger, cinnamon, and vanilla bean, create an irresistible gourmand fragrance that captures the rich aromas reminiscent of the holiday season. And let's see. So it comes in a decorative jar like that. And yeah, it's just like a very quintessential, cozy, holiday gourmand fragrance. You definitely get like a zing from the ginger in there, mixed with like a creamy vanilla and like a cinnamon spice blend is most certainly in here. It's very creamy. It kind of reminds me of like a cinnamon oat milk latte or something like that is what comes to mind. There's like a frothy, creamy quality to it. And like, yeah, you get a little bit of a zing from the ginger. It's nice. I can't say it's terribly unique or like super out of the box, but I'm hoping maybe when you go to burn this one, it'll liven up, and I'm hoping for a great grand thrill, so we will see how that goes. I was like, you know, I like the gourmand fragrances from Nest because they don't come around very often, so I was like, let me give that a chance and see how it goes. There's a new lime zest and matcha fragrance. I wasn't in love with that at all. Not that I would be ever like, ever want to actually go and purchase it, but super juicy green packaging. That was just very heavy on the citrus, and I was hoping for a little bit more matcha. The matcha is in there, and it kind of does like sort of tame it and give that sort of herbal kick from the green tea, but I kind of like want more like a matcha latte fragrance, and I'm not a huge citrus fan, so I was like, okay, whatever, I don't need that. There's also the Himalayan sea salt and rose water, which that smells quite nice, so that one's kind of on my like the very bottom of my wish list, so I might entertain that sometime down the line if these do quite well. And I think that is pretty much it. Let me know if you tried any of these Nest candles. Super excited to dig into the Driftwood and Chamomile, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.